dude, I've reviewed so many sales pitches in the last 3 years because we would actually, in the company I was with, we would demo them a la Shark Tank. Like you would come in and you would pitch us, and then we would review it with you right on the spot and make some changes. I've seen and heard all these pitches, and like 9 times out of 10, the first thing I see is this is who I am and why I'm awesome. And then we get into talking about them. So you got to follow the hero's journey for your client, not for you.
You're an inspiration to our entire organization.
Welcome to the Gym Marketing Made Simple podcast. We're going to be talking the done-for-you marketing and sales strategies proven to work with boutique fitness gyms to increase quality lead flow and grow your revenue. Don't try to be a professional marketer and waste tons of money. Let the experts at Lasso do it for you. And now, here are your hosts, Blake Ruff and Sherman Merritt.
Episode of Gym Marketing Made Simple with Blake and Sherman. Today we have a very special guest. This is going to be like, this is a throwback kind of, I guess. We have Jeff Burlingame, aka B Game, with us today. Jeff, I'm excited. I mean, yeah, like I'm smiling. I'm just excited for us to talk, and yeah, long time coming. Long time coming.
Definitely a long time coming, man. I appreciate you guys having me on. It is a throwback. It's like the OG days, man. It's been a couple years, but I'm excited to be on with you guys and chat today.
Yeah, no, me too. So for you guys that don't know, Jeff is the best fisherman in the CrossFit world. So just so you know. So
it's a unique title.
Fisherman, correct. So any fisherman listening, get at my boy B Game, and he can give you some tips. Take you on a lake or river up there in Michigan or something. I don't know. Yeah. I got to get up there. Man. But yeah, man. So let's sort of jump right into
massive lakes all over Michigan. I mean, it's
great
lakes.
I said. Yeah.
You said rivers.
Yeah, I said take you to a lake or a river in Michigan.
We got all of them, man. We're a freshwater state.
Yeah. Yeah, man. So let's sort of talk about, your experience, because one of the things that, you and I, we were working for another company. We were sort of, we got sort of put into the arena. We were sort of like the sales guys, right? Yeah. And I believe that, you sort of taken that, ran with it, done some incredible things with it. So give us a little bit of your background for the listeners that don't know you.
Yeah. So, I mean, I've been in sales for essentially 15 years, and most of that was fitness-based sales. So I started like selling treadmills at Dick's Sporting Goods, was like the earliest of it. It was selling extended warranties and treadmills at Dick's, and then leveled up, got my personal training certification, graduated college from Michigan State University with a bachelor's in kinesiology, exercise science, and then went into personal training. Found out the only way that you can be a successful personal trainer is if you actually sell personal training, which is like, hey, why wasn't this in the instruction manual? And like personal training certification companies do not do a good job of teaching you how to do that. It's usually the last chapter of the book. It's 30 seconds of information, and it's not valuable. So I had to figure that out on my own. I read a couple of books like over and over and over again, including How to Win Friends, Influence People, Thinking Real Rich, Napoleon Hill. And then I got into the Sales Bible with Jeffrey Gitomer and The Psychology of Selling with Brian Tracy. Between those 4 books, I read them over and over and over and over again on like my commutes. I would audiobook them, and then I'd like read them and take notes at night. So self-taught sales, but got to a point where between those 4 books, I figured out it was about relationships. It's not about like, at first I thought I was seeing people write like these big invoices for PT. Bedros Keuilian was one of them at the time. He was writing these big paid in fulls. And I was like, how do you do 12 grand in PT? That's insane. And I was just thinking sales tactics. But after reading those books, I realized like, no, it's not about tactics at all. It's about relationships. Mm-hmm. So I started focusing on asking more questions, and I was getting much better results with that. Over the years, like ended up climbing the ranks, became like top seller in a subcontracting PT company, moved to a giant gym organization that still exists in like Chicago and on the East Coast, ran like 7 of their gyms, came back to Michigan, did the same for a small mom and pop like franchise area. And then I wanted to start my own gym. So I started CrossFit in 2014 and it's still in Grand Rapids, still going strong. I sold it to my 2 head coaches in 2019. And yes, I kind of lucked out on the whole COVID thing, but I'm glad that they persevered. They made it through, and they're still running it. It's Friction Grand Rapids. If you guys are ever in Michigan, I'll give a shout out to my boys. Go check it out. They're doing really cool things there. So yeah, I mean, ran through all that stuff. And during that time, I met you guys because we were mentoring gym owners, and I got the chance to do I think I was up to at certain weeks, 35, 40 calls in a week.
I remember those days.
Right?
I remember those days.
Just grinding calls, but working with gym owners, working on their whole system. Right. But I kind of realized hey, I really like sales. I have this sales experience. So I tried to target that. And I was, sales is the lifeblood of any business. So it coincided with what they wanted, which was more revenue. So I started focusing on that, became an SME for sales within that organization, got to speak on stage a bunch of times. It was an amazing experience. And then got the opportunity to start working with a guy to get his sales company off the ground. So for the past 3 years, that's what I was doing. We were coaching business owners of all sorts. Kind of started with fitness, but then it branched out. I mean, shoot, man, I was teaching people how to sell e-bikes, dental appliances. We down to CFO services, super high ticket CFO services, and all of that. Right. And I was able to take my system I was teaching gym owners and refine it so that it worked with everybody, and it just made it better. So it essentially simplified, and we can talk about the outline a little bit, but outline the sales process to build build trust as fast as possible, develop strong relationships, not just sign up somebody to make a sale, but to create a relationship that then goes long-term. So you get better retention, and it's just a simplified system. So anybody can learn it. I've applied it to all these businesses, any ticket level it works at. But yeah, now I'm on my own doing this and working with you guys.
No, that's good. That's good. I mean, you took me back when you were 35, 40 calls a week.
Bro, remember those? That was rough.
We were traveling. I was, for me, I was traveling all over the world. I went to Sweden and all this stuff.
Yeah.
It was a great time. It was a phenomenal learning ground, right? We got just having so many conversations. We just figured it out. And that's one of the things I think, Jeff, hearing, when I hear some of the sales coaching, it's not necessarily bad, but it's not a one size fits all, right? My personality allows me to say and do certain things that will work for me that may not work for someone else. So I can't be well, this is exactly what you must say, because if you say that, this person going to say, look at this jerk. But if I say it, they're going to say, this is a funny guy, right?
Yeah.
So I like that you said, you definitely have to have a framework, and then you have to sort of fit it to your personality, your character, so that these people really like it. But Jeff sort of alluded to it a little bit. So, cat's out of the bag. Jeff's going to be coming on board with us here at Lasso to help our gym owners absolutely crush it with sales, guys. Because one of the biggest things that we've seen over the years is getting leads for us, right, is not going to be the issue. Right? We're going to get you leads. No, they're not all going to be quote unquote qualified leads that are going to come into your system and then 2 days later come in and sign up just because they show up. That's not how this thing works with paid marketing, with cold traffic. But we know that if we can teach gym owners and coaches how to actually sell, it takes their business to the next level. Right. Yeah. Because again, long gone are the days of, 2009 when people really didn't know what CrossFit was, but the people that decided to come in and try it out, they were sort of I'm auditioning for Fight Club. If I survive, I'll join. Those days are over now, right? Those days are over, right? We have, the moms and people just trying to lose weight coming in, and they may not necessarily be cut from the same cloth as the OGs that were willing to literally die on a barbell or a pull-up bar to finish the workout, right?
Which is a good thing, because it's such a broader audience, and we have to be comfortable with that. And that is where, to your point, it's not a one size fits all thing for sales. I wish I could tell you it was. That would make it easier than it is. But like the good news is that you can just find your personal flavor. Like how do you authenticate? How do you make this sound like you, where you feel good when you say things? And when you're talking to that mom who came in on her break, her kids are being babysat right now so she can come check out your scary gym. How do you manage her versus, like you were talking about, the OG CrossFitters? Because the OG guys, like, they came in, they wanted to get beat up. They wanted to puke. Remember Pukey the Clown? Like they love that. They love that. So all they wanted was to get beat up. And if you beat them up during the workout, they'd sign up easy. But now it's like, I'm trying not to make people puke because that'll terrify them and they'll run away. And instead, I want them to feel comfortable, to feel safe. And that's where you really have to outline like the best possible process to do that.
Yeah. No.
Different times.
Yeah. No, man, such different times. So, Jeff, let's sort of talk about, because again, with you coming on board, I'm so excited because I know that this has been a huge piece for us that we've been trying to, really lock in. And because, I've been doing a lot of the sales training and stuff, and I think I'm pretty good. I think I can help some people, but I believe that you can take this thing to the next level for us as a company. And I'm happy. I'm excited about it. I'm like, yes, like, let's get this thing. Because at the end of the day, if our clients crush it, everyone wins, right? They win, we win. So let's sort of talk about the method. I mean, we're gonna give them a little bit. We're gonna make them sign up before they get all of it. But let's sort of talk about, sort of the outline, the framework of this thing, so they can know.
Yeah. And I'm completely open with the framework. I share it all on my YouTube channel. I share it all in free guides that I'm already distributing. But the reason I do that is because the application of the framework is where having the outside eyes and the guidance really comes into play. As with anything, it's like I could deliver you a full program. You actually going and committing to and doing that program and having accountability with it, that's what people pay for with your gym. You could share all your program on your website. Nobody's going to just do it. CrossFit shares it every single day. Other companies share their programming every single day. So yeah, I mean, let's get into the system. Is top to bottom sales process. And we take strong consideration into how people enter your sales funnel. So like, you guys get them leads, then what? And that's where a lot of people get lost. They're like, I have 50 leads and I made no sales. Why? What happened? So we've got to do a good job of helping them diagnose their sales funnel, which is something that I love to nerd out on sales funnels. Like I'll get in there, I'll poke around and be like, oh, here's your problem. Like, here's your hang up. Here's your bottleneck. So we have to look top to bottom. We're looking at the person gets into your funnel. Now, what do? Are you reaching out to them? How fast? Speed to lead. How fast are you reaching out to them? What are you saying to them? What are you offering them to get them excited to come in? Because right at the top, thing people miss is they think I'm giving away this free session, free week, bring a friend day, or a free sales call, which is like my preference for that is like, just bring them in, do the call, make the sale. You don't have to do all this other free stuff. But yeah, sure. That call is free. That conversation's free. That in-person visit's free, but it's not valuable to them at all. So like part of this is like, how do you level up the value of that in-person meeting? So we talk about give to get, which is what do you give me? What's in it for me? If I come in and I talk to you for an hour, knowing you're a salesperson, knowing you're going to try and sell me a gym membership of some sort, I need to know that I get something out of this. Now, at the very base level, that could be like clarity of goals. It's like, hey, let's get this straightened out. Whether you work with me or not, I love the no strings attached approach. It's like, whether you work with me or not, we're going to help you gain clarity of what it is that you need. And then you can walk out of here feeling better. And if you work with us, awesome, we'll help you get there. And then another one is like, just give them a guide, give them something to start with. Like, hey, I'm going to give you my survive the vacation guide. I'm going to give you my survive the holidays guide, my nutrition guide, my 10 best hotel workouts guide, whatever, just something that you can provide for them. So we add value there. Then that helps with your show rates too. So now we get people to actually show up, because you can't sell to an empty chair. So if people don't show up, even if I booked 25 out of the 50 leads for an appointment and 5 show up, I'm getting killed on show rate. So I got to get them more excited, kind of roll out that red carpet, get them feeling good about coming in for that meeting. And then we get them at the meeting. And that's where like the no sweat method really kicks in. So top to bottom, how does that sales conversation go? But right at the top, what do people struggle with most? It's rapport building. They don't know how to like start the conversation. What do I do? Hi, welcome to my gym. Here it is. Everybody's sweaty and that person's crying in the corner and that coach is shirtless, still doing cleans from his workout after lunch. Like it's a great place. You like it? Come on, sit down. Let's talk. Right? No, it's terrible how we build rapport. So
Yeah.
I like to think of it like this. We don't waste any time because a person's time is precious and valuable. So I'm not going to sit there and like, talk about the weather and traffic and what do you do for work and what are you up to this weekend and how's your day going. This is all time wasting conversation pieces. Nobody likes small talk. We all cringe when we get into a small talk situation. Like you bump into somebody and you're not in a position to talk to them right now. You're like on the move and they're like, hey, how's it going? What are you up to? It's the worst. We all hate it. Like that's just human condition. So skip that stuff, get right into it. Start by framing the conversation. What are we here for? Let me know what we're going to get out of today. So I could be like, Sherman, I'm so excited to talk with you today. First of all, congrats on coming in, man. And ultimately, I want to let you know for the next like 30 minutes, we're going to sit down. We're going to get clear on exactly what it is that you want with your fitness goals. We're going to uncover your actual like needs behind that. And we're going to figure out like by when you want to achieve those goals. So you're going to be ultra clear by the time you leave today. It's going to be awesome. And you'll have like the path ahead of you. Fair enough? And then Sherman goes, yeah, that sounds great. Cool. And then I walk him over, we sit down, we have our conversation. Or if you're on Zoom, you literally start the call the same way. Just like, nice to meet you. Congratulations on making the call. Here's what we're going to do for the next 30, 45, 60 minutes, however long your appointment is set for. And then get into it. Don't waste any time. There's like icebreaker questions out there that you could ask, but they are such a time waster, I found out. Like it's cool to get them kind of like off topic and talk about something. If you're going to do that, just like compliment them on something. So you could be like, that's a really cool shirt you got. You could be like, hey, I really like your background on Zoom. Like, what's that in the background? Tell me about that. You could look at my semi-blurry background here and be like, is that a fishing reel up there? What's that about? That's fine, but then get right into it. Everything else seems to just kind of be a time waster, which can be frustrating for people. So we go from rapport, we jump into SMART goals. And this is where a lot of people miss out too. So like, what's the number one fitness goal we hear, Sherman?
I want to lose weight.
I want to lose weight. What the heck does that mean? How much weight? When do you want to lose that weight? What's driving you to want to lose that weight? What feelings are you experiencing because you have this weight on you right now? How are you going to feel when you lose that weight? And this is where gym owners are like, you want to lose weight? Heck yeah, bro. I know how to do that. I'll help you. And that's like, just go to the next step. But we need to dig in. This is where you got to dig in. I tell people they should be spending 20 to 25 minutes on SMART goals. Not 5 minutes, not 5 seconds. It's 20 to 25 minutes because you want to uncover 3 high value SMART goals. So if it's lose weight, how much, by when, and then it's what else? So I want to lose weight. How much weight do you want to lose? And they'll give you a range. They'll be like, I don't know, 30, 40 pounds. Is it 30? Is it 36? Is it 40? Get specific. And then once you have that number, it's when do they want to lose that by?
Yeah.
And we have that timeline. Like goals don't work without a deadline. So we got to set that timeline. And then we need another goal. So we just say, hey, what else? What else were you hoping to achieve with us? What else can we help you achieve? And you start incorporating we, like we're in this together, right? Because we are. That's what it is. I intend to bring you on as my client and train you start to finish. So we are in this together. It's inclusive. So you get another goal and then another goal. I want 3 high value goals. And then from there, we get to what we call desire. And desire is the emotion behind the goals. So I don't just want to lose 20 pounds. 20 pounds is non-emotional. Weight has no emotion to it, no inherent emotional value. It's what happens when you lose that weight that you get emotional about. It's what that weight being on your body right now causes for you, whether that's something socially, emotionally, internally, you feel bad about it. You're self-conscious. You don't have confidence. These are the emotions. So we have to draw that out. And it's really easy because, again, we want to have a simple system here. And I don't want people thinking about psychology and theory. And like, I'm not asking you to become a psychologist. That would be ridiculous. And it would take you 4 years of college to be okay at it. So like, let's be real. We just need a simple system. It's 2 questions. It's how do we feel now? So I could go like, Sherman, you tell me you want to lose this 20 pounds the next 6 months. So I'm curious, man, talk to me about what it feels like right now, holding on to this extra weight that you're struggling with. Like, what's that like? And the interesting thing is that people will be very open with a person they just met, a complete stranger. Like, they're going to be completely open with you, right? So, and when you get them to open up, that is the rapport building, because we're connecting on a human emotional level. So you don't need psychology to understand that. When people open up, you guys connect. That's the magic behind this. The other thing is that people will voice their frustrations. So they'll be like, I don't know, I'm just struggling with this weight because, and they'll tell you what that emotional piece is. And then you just reiterate that to them. Like, hey, tell me how it feels right now. When you go into your closet, you grab that pair of jeans that fits tight. You pull it on. You're struggling to get that button together, like you were telling me a second ago. What's that feel like? What are the thoughts and emotions going through you at that time? And they'll tell you. And then you, guess what, guys? Take notes, like write it down, because you're going to come back to it a lot. You're going to talk about that a lot. And that's the pain state. Everybody says, oh yeah, dig into the pain. Like, that's what they're talking about. But there's a better way to do it. And then what most sales trainers, coaches, gurus out there completely whiff on is they don't go to the positive side of things. Like, sales are made better when there's positivity involved. So I want to take them from the pain to the joy. And that's the second piece of desires. I say, Ms. Jones or Sherman, like, hey, tell me how it's going to feel when 6 months from now, you've let go of that 20 pounds. It's gone. You go into your closet, you grab that pair of jeans that you struggle with right now, you pull them on, and they fit perfect. And you look in the mirror and you're like, dang, I look good. How's that going to feel? What emotions are going through you now? And I put them in that position, and I have them visualize the future. We call it future pacing. So we take you to the future. You have that in your head, you're envisioning it, and you go into those emotions right there. And then we write that down too. Right. So that's desire is like one of the two components you have to make a sale. That's how we get it. And the second piece is urgency. So once we have desire, now we go to urgency, because if I don't want this and I don't want it now, I'm not going to buy it now. So it's like, yeah, I want to lose 20 pounds, but like, I don't know, whenever's fine. That's zero urgency. We need to get to a high level of urgency. And the interesting thing about this is I've tried this a zillion different ways, you guys, and a lot of those have not worked. One has worked every single time. I've never had an issue with this on thousands of sales calls, and that is a simple 1 to 10 temperature check question. So it's just on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the highest, how important and urgent is it for you to achieve these goals? And they give me a number, and whatever it is, and it's usually not 10, I just ask them what it's going to take to get it to a 10. If they tell me 10, I say, awesome, what makes this a 10 for you? And they sell themselves into it. They're like, oh, it's huge because of X, Y, and Z reasons. And that's really what I'm looking for. And then once we have that, we transition to a pitch presentation, which is something that, you know, we'll also teach in our program. But your pitch should be visual. It should be engaging. You should be asking questions the whole time. You should not be like, this is our gym. We have workouts, we have nutrition, and we have accountability. Because that's what every single gym on this planet says. You can't say that. You have to say something different. Be unique, be different, be special. So write down what makes you different from your competitors. Those are your unique mechanisms. We come up with like 3 of those. And then from there, we go into a little social proof. Where are your testimonials at? Show me those. We'll go into a temperature check again. Like how confident are you that we can help you achieve your goals? They give us a number. If it's not a 10, we make it a 10. And then we do more social proof because, oh my gosh, testimonials are so valuable. Like, just keep posting those. And then you get into like, what's the offer? Here's the pricing, make the close. And there's a lot of strategy that we do with that, but like we cover that in the program. So we get it mapped out. And like that whole pitch should take you 5 to 6 minutes, no longer. So if you're currently pitching right now, it's like 15, 20 minutes. That's too long. Trim it up. And if your pitch is like 30 seconds, here's our gym membership you should join, that's too short. You're not going into enough value. So that's where we help you find that happy middle ground. And that's like effectively the outline with quite a bit of detail. So take with it what you will.
I think one thing, I was just thinking about like story brand, right? And like, I was just reading yesterday again, if you don't identify and articulate the problem, your customer has no idea what your brand will do, nor will they pay attention. And it was like, just like the 3 things you said, what's the external problem? I want to lose weight. right?
Yep.
What's the internal problem to that? And then what's the psychological problem, right? Or physical, so if
philosophical,
you don't, like, but if you don't have all those, and then you just become the guide in between where they're starting and where they want to end, right? And you're the bridge between them. But if you don't lay out the plan, the bridge, they have no idea where they're going. And I think, one thing you said too is like testimonials are so powerful. Like I said, like if a gym literally just posted testimonials, like good testimonials every day, I guarantee they probably have more members than anybody else, because people, but you got to tell the story, right? What was this person's age? What was their problem? Where did they start? Where did they finish? How did they feel? How do they feel now? And if you do those things, which is basically what you're saying, sell that way. But if you do it on your social media, like I guess I'm taking it, extracting it, and putting it into marketing. If you do all this thing, then it makes it way easier when they come in the door. Because I remember when I had my gym, sounds like so long ago, but like people would always say, I read your website and I saw your social media and I knew you were speaking to me. And it made the sales so much easier, because they're like, I know what you do. I've seen the people you had in your door, but you just have to connect those dots. And if you don't connect the dots, I would say take a step back. If you don't connect those dots on your marketing, it makes the sales process harder, because you're starting from square one, because you don't have any trust, right? Like, and I think what we do with paid marketing, I always say, like, warm leads, they're much easier because they know, like, and trust you, right? Referrals. Cold leads, you have to do all those three things within a 30-minute session, right? Even to get them in the door. So I think that's, just massive for people. Not only can you use this in sales, but like use it in your marketing material, like your content, because then people see that and they're like, oh, she's a 30-year-old mom with 3 kids and has a full-time job, and she started feeling like X. I feel like that. Oh, now she feels like that. That's the way I want to feel. She's going to come in with that person in mind of Susie, who she saw on your social media post. And it makes your sales so much easier, because you're going to map out the same path for her. And then you're going to say, oh, you remind me of Susie. And then she's like, oh my gosh, I saw that post. And then it's a no-brainer.
It's relatable, right? Like everybody, the thing that we have to keep in mind that helps with this whole process and everything you were just saying there, Blake, is that as human beings, we are inherently selfish, we are narcissistic, and we are the hero of our own story. So to Blake's point, like if you use a story brand, first of all, you're ahead of everybody else, because everybody else thinks that they're the hero. Like, my CrossFit gym's the best and I'm the best coach and I'm amazing, right? And like half the sales, I've reviewed so many sales pitches in the last 3 years, because we would actually, in the company I was with, we would demo them a la Shark Tank. Like, you would come in and you would pitch us, and then we would review it with you right on the spot and make some changes. I've seen and heard all these pitches, and like 9 times out of 10, the first thing I see is, this is who I am and why I'm awesome. And then we get into talking about them. So you got to follow the hero's journey for your client, not for you. You're the guide. Like, just follow the story brand principles.
You're not the hero.
Yeah. Just like stop trying to be the hero. Like, I realized, like, oh, I was putting myself on a pedestal and trying to be like, I'm the best sales trainer, I'm going to train you. I don't do that anymore. Like, it's a method, not a theory, like an actual outline process you can follow, that's easy to follow, easy to implement. You can do it today. You don't have to like blow up your whole sales process to be successful. Like, just boop, drop it in, you're good. And you're going to be amazing. Let me just guide you through it. Like, that's the whole concept. That's what we're going to do with Lasso, is we'll guide your clients through this process so they can implement it right away. And that's the whole idea. But yeah, like that level of promoting the testimonials, promoting your clients, putting them out there as heroes within your system is like the magic of it. And then people find those, they relate to them. And that's 10 times better than it putting out a before and after picture with zero context. So you can't just be like, here's Susie, she lost 20 pounds. Here's her before, here's her after. Great job, Susie. See you later. It's you have to tell like the emotions that Susie went through, share her story. And ideally, you guys, if you're not doing this now, get video. 30-second testimonials are the magic sweet spot. If you do longer than 30 seconds, people drop off. Just look at YouTube stats for like viewer duration, like audience retention rates on social media. It's so short. If you're on TikTok, it's like 2 seconds. If you're on YouTube, it's like 40 seconds. So when you look at a vertical video, like our monkey brains just go back and they're like, hey, I don't want to spend too much time on this. I want to scroll. I want to do this. I want to go. I want my instant gratification. So 30 seconds, you can retain their attention for that, and they can feel the emotions that this other person is going through. So like, just get a camera, just get your phone, go up to your client, say, hey, you have an amazing story and your story could help so many other people. Would you be opposed to doing a quick 30-second shot with me? I'm just going to hold up my camera. I'll tell you exactly what to say. I'll edit out that part. Don't worry about it. And you're going to help so many people. And like, I'm telling you guys, that works 9 times out of 10. The one time it doesn't was when I was like on the East Coast. I dealt with a lot of government workers, and they were like, hey, I'm not allowed to be on social media. And that was like the one time it didn't work. I was like, okay, cool. Got it. But like every other time, they're happy to do it. It's fun.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think that's one of the things, again, people sort of project on, like they project what they think in the simplest way that I would get testimonials inside the gym. I would ask my members, right? And like you said, depending on that person's work, every now and then, hey, I really can't be on social. But for the most part, people like to be famous. People like it. It doesn't matter how shy they are. They love to talk about themselves. They love to show the results. But hey, we're going to put this on social to show the world. And they go like, oh, okay. Every now and then someone won't for various reasons. But for the most part, people will definitely do it. Because I think, again, I think this is going to be one of the things that's going to help take our clients' success to the next level, just really getting down to it, helping them close more sales, make more money. Because again, like that's the name of the game. Like that's what we're looking to do. So you guys, we're going to get ready to head out, but you're going to be hearing obviously more from Jeff, especially our clients, right? You guys, like, it's going to be great. You future clients, it's going to be great. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out. Jeff's email is going to be, I'm just going to make it up, so we have to make sure it's right. His email is going to be jeffb@lassoframework.com. See, that's simple, right?
Fair enough. There you go.
lassoframework.com. So we just made that up. So it'll work. If it bounced back, just know I was lying and I was wrong. So
it'll work. But if it doesn't, oh well. Nice.
But guys, but seriously, Jeff, thanks for hanging out with us, bud. We're excited about the future, man. Seriously.
So am I, man. I'm stoked for this. It's gonna be a blast.
And guys, as always, tell a friend to tune in, and we will chat with you guys next week. All right.
Yeah. Thank you for listening to the Gym Marketing Made Simple podcast with Blake Ruff and Sherman Merricks. We hope you enjoy. We believe marketing should increase revenue and not waste money. So book your free call today. Head on over to lassoframework.com. That's lassoframework.com and find the right words, get more customers, and increase your revenue. We'll see you here next time.